Hello, and welcome to AP Table Talk, a podcast where we explore board games and what makes them interesting to us. As always, I'm your host, Brian, and joining me for some back and forth discussion, my co-host, Daving.
I see what you did there, Bri. It's very thematic.
Yes,
Tug of War.
The hints that are unnecessary because anyone listening can see the title of the episode.
That's right. Yeah, you probably got spoiled already because you saw the title. We are covering the Tug of War mechanic.
Tug of War mechanic, yes, as it applies to board games.
Yeah, exactly. This is I forget exactly what episode this is for us, Bri, but we've covered a lot of it.
16 around? I don't know, somewhere.
Oh, yep, this is 16, episode 16 for AB Table Talk. We've covered a lot of other board game mechanics before. Tug of War is no different. I enjoyed doing the research for this one, Bri, so I guess we'll see how we compared tonight, right?
Yeah, so the first thing I noticed when I started was that there weren't as many Tug of War games that I thought there were going to be. So then I thought I was going to have trouble kind of coming up with stuff. But then I realized I played a lot of the games, even though there wasn't as many as some of the other mechanics we've looked at. So
yeah, I remember.
We'll see how that goes.
When we were looking at that, a lot of the games on the list were like we had already covered for other episodes,
right?
So we didn't replay them for this episode. But I have some notes about them, and hopefully we'll get into it with this episode recording.
Okay, so we'll start off with our definitions.
Yeah, you want to do your personal definition for Tug of War?
When I think of the Tug of War mechanic, I think of a game. So it in my head, what qualifies as Tug of War, it has to be a game that has some sort of shared track or some shared value, and you are pulling the players are pulling that pulling on that track towards one end or the other. And we might have some debate here on what qualifies exactly as Tug of War. So I was trying to come up with the points that qualify it as Tug of War. And because if I'm thinking of just a track, that's really just, you could think of that almost as the race mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the things is that it needs to be a zero sum. As in, if there's something that's good for one player, it has to be bad for the other player.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big part of what makes it Tug of War. And then I know a lot of the Tug of War games, the end of the track triggers something. Some games it could be the end of the game, or there's something should be triggered by reaching the end of the track.
Mm-hmm. So
in actual Tug of War, you would win when you pull the rope over the flag of the rope over far enough, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So those are my points, kind of that qualify it to be a Tug of War mechanic.
Tug of War definition.
Yeah.
All right. You sitting down for this, Bri? This is the official definition of the Tug of War mechanic off of Board Game Geek, BGG. So it is, quote, a marker is moved up and back on a track towards or away from a neutral position. End quote.
That's it. Just the marker just has to be turned. I mean, that does incorporate zero sum.
Yep.
They don't care about and again, I don't think the end trigger necessarily is required for a Tug of War mechanic, but I do think it's used a lot, reaching the end, triggering something.
Oh yeah. So
and I guess it's similar.
I've got thoughts about that as we go on to this episode.
Sure. Okay. So I have just an example that we can use. So I tried to pick a semi-popular one. So I was thinking a good example is King of Tokyo Duel, which we were playing on, I think we've talked about it in previous episodes. We were playing that on BGA. And that one has two tracks, two Tug of Wars going on.
Yep.
I forget what they're, one's like popularity or fame or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one's like destruction or whatever.
Yep.
And so it's essentially you're balancing out these two tracks, and they have two win conditions. Either you pull one track all the way to the end, or they have these like zones that are halfway to each side. And if you can get both markers into those zones on your side, you win as well. Which is very simple, but I thought I enjoy that game a lot.
And do you remember, Bri, we played King of Tokyo Duel for another episode, but I'm blanking on the mechanic.
I was trying to remember what it was that we played it for too, but I know we talked about it because I commented about how how much I liked it, even though I don't really like regular King of Tokyo that much.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, King of Tokyo Duel is great. How would it be with more players?
And then I said, because I remember reading the transcript, it's like Speed 2, but on a bus.
Yes. I don't remember which episode it was, but we did definitely talked about it before.
Yep.
All right. So we played quite a few on BGA actually. Some of them I'm not actually sure, after thinking about the definition, I'm not sure actually qualify as Tug of War, but they were marked as Tug of War.
Right. Yeah, there's a bunch in there, but
yeah.
Do you want to, Bri, should we go into major examples?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So if you're new to AP Table Talk and you're just joining us for the first time for this episode, what Bri and I like to do is our first section is major examples, and we're going to cover our first Tug of War game, our favorite Tug of War game, and our most noteworthy / biggest. But we also have our D12s, and we're going to roll them at the same time. Whoever rolls D20. Sorry, I have the wrong die. Now that I have the correct die, we're going to roll
I will be winning if you're rolling a D12, or at least on average.
3, 2, 1, roll. Oh, I have a 2.
I got 11.
All right. So, Bri, you're going to lead off with major examples.
Okay, we're going to start with the first game I played. Okay. This is another episode where most of the games that I'm going to say in these major examples could fit almost into all of the categories. Whereas, I really like all of them. Most of them are pretty noteworthy, and I played a lot of them a long time ago. So it was hard for me to figure out which one I played first. But I believe the first Tug of War game, or at least the one I can remember as Tug of War game I played, is not the oldest one, but the one that I played first is Hanamikoji, which came out in 2013. And I just think it's a very simple game, but I think that's what I liked about it a lot. It's almost like a masterclass in minimalist design. So that one is you're competing to win the favor of, the theme is like geishas. So you're competing to win the favor of these 7 geishas. And you're fighting over the same set of items that each correspond to each of the geishas. So it's almost like there's 7 colors laid out, and each of them have a certain number of cards. And the number of cards that they have, so for example, there's 3 2s. The geishas correspond to these numbers. There's 3 2s, 2 3s, a 4, and a 5. And that also tells you how many of each card there are. So you shuffle the cards, you deal them out to each other, and you're playing them through these tokens, where you're either keeping some for yourself or giving some cards to the other person. And then as you play them, they go into the corresponding color geisha. And basically, once all the cards are played, whoever has more cards on their side pulls a token onto your side, and you're trying to get the favor of the most geishas. So that's where the Tug of War comes in. And I don't know, it was just, I'm probably doing it no justice in my description here, but I remember, I think we played it at PAX first. One of the PAXs, or at least I played it at PAX first. And I just really liked it. I liked a lot, and I think I tried looking for it, but I couldn't find it. I eventually got it by kickstarting their newer game, Geisha Road, which is kind of an evolution of Hanamikoji. But yeah, that was the first one that I could remember playing that was a Tug of War game.
So Hanamikoji, you said it was 2014?
It came out in 2013.
2013. Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't know it was that old. All right, on to me for first?
Yep.
All right, so for me, I had a lot of trouble because I was like, I've played games with the Tug of War mechanic, but I have no idea what was the very first game.
Yeah. I had the same issue.
I had to come up with okay, when I really see this as like a critical element as part of the game. And I'm going to have to go to us playing this, not on BGA Bri, but on the GMT website, I guess, Twilight Struggle. Remember when we first started playing Twilight Struggle?
Yeah.
So if you're listening, you haven't played Twilight Struggle before, Brian and I have discussed it on podcasts before, but the general overview is that the theme is, it's a 2-player game. The theme is Cold War, USA versus Russia, 1945 to 1989 or 1990, whenever the Cold War ended.
Right.
And I can't say that this is the first game where I heard of Tug of War, but it's the first game where I saw the Tug of War that was very thematic in the DEFCON track. Remember the DEFCON track, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it's a 2-player game, and it fits into a lot of what you talked about before, Brian, that there's like a lot of zero-sum stuff. So there's a lot of like, remember there's like proxy wars, like we're both trying to influence different countries around the world. There's victory points are operate on that on scoring like different regions of the world. I think there was like it was different continental scoring cards, like Europe scoring card, Africa scoring card, Asia scoring card. And I think that overall, like you were saying before, like I think that was very thematic with Twilight Struggle, to the point where we're just making constant Rocky IV references as we play the game. And I remember like if you're Russia, you're just Drago, and then if you're USA, you're Rocky, and then you just have to keep yelling, "I must break you." I know I was yelling it at the computer the entire time. So like I don't know if that is the first like Tug of War game, but it's the most memorable for me.
Right. That one, and like so the DEFCON track is the obvious Tug of War. But I also like if you think about the actual world map itself, is a series of like tracks that are also Tug of War, right? Because each of them you're pulling through those numbers, pulling the influence on each of the like regions or whatever, right?
And that reminds me of another Tug of War game, but I don't want to bring it up because I feel like you might talk about it in one of the
we'll keep it on the back burner, and then we'll go through our major examples, and then we can, because I'll probably have some extra ones to talk about as well.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So those were our first games that we played. We'll move on to our favorite game.
Yep.
Okay. I actually put 2 in here, and the reason is one of them is fairly new. So, and I know I'm a little bit cult of the new, but to call it my favorite, I kind of want to give it some more time and plays. The original one I had on here is another one I know we both like, which is Blitzkrieg World War II in 20 minutes. And that is, what's the name of the, Paolo Mori, right? And I think I like a lot of his games. But that one, so that is another war game, but this is obviously World War II. And it's basically takes World War II and distills the entire theater of war into several Tug of War tracks. I don't remember how many. And then you're drawing tiles out of a bag and placing them to move the markers in your favor across all the different fronts, right? Like Africa or the Pacific or wherever. And I just felt like it felt, even though it's just a bunch of Tug of War, it felt fast paced. It felt like your moves were very like high stakes to place the tiles and stuff. So that's one I really enjoyed. And a lot of these could go into favorite of my examples, but that's the one I chose to put in favorites. So I have my newer one. Do you want me to go to that one, or do you want to do your favorite first?
So you're saying that Blitzkrieg is your favorite one, but then you have a runner-up.
I have a possible game that could dethrone it as my favorite Tug of War game.
Okay, go ahead with that one.
Okay. So that's a newer one that's still trying to get a copy, which is Zenith. So that is from last year. 2025. That's another one. It almost seems like a lane battler. There are 5 Tug of Wars going on. I think the theme is there are 5 planets, and you're vying for control over the 5 planets. Each of them is like a 7 point, I think it's 7 points Tug of War, and you're playing cards, and each of the cards moves each of the planets differently and gets you resources. And I don't know, I felt like it was very interesting that it had enough where you were constantly fighting to lead in everything. And if you did that, you spread yourself too thin. You had to pick your battles of where you wanted to fight. And some of the things I just kind of were thinking about is like, it almost feels like an evolution of Hanamikoji. It's got a little more meat to it, a little more strategy. So Hanamikoji, the way that you pick your cards to play into the lanes is we'll probably talk about it in a future episode. It's a I cut, you choose type of thing. Whereas this uses multi-use cards, which we both like. We've talked about that before, where you can use the card either for the power on the card, you can use the card to go up. There's a tech tree that can make your cards more powerful. And then there's also just like when you're out of resources, you can use the cards to get more resources, that kind of thing. It adds engine building, which I like. And the tech tree also gives you some asymmetry in the players. So that's also interesting to me as well. So yeah, that one, I mean, I think I've got over 50 plays in it on BGA.
You've been playing Chris and Zenith?
No, I haven't introduced. I'm playing Arena actually.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that one I've really been enjoying, and I kind of want to get a physical copy of that one.
So your number one is Blitzkrieg, and then your runner-up is
Zenith. Yeah, Zenith.
Okay. Well, Bri, I'm really glad I didn't break the other game to you, because the runner-up for Twilight Struggle for me was Blitzkrieg, because it's just a bunch of Tug of Wars, but around the board, and only 20 minutes.
I figured that would be on your list, because I know you're also a big World War II fan. So
yeah. So should I go through my favorite?
Sure, yeah.
All right. So this one, you mentioned Cult of the New before, and I would say like it's not new anymore, but I would say it's kind of Cult of the Newish. And this is a game, Bri, I think both of us would really enjoy, because we really like the IP. The game is Star Wars: The Deckbuilding Game.
Have I played that one? No, I haven't.
We have not. We played a bunch of Star Wars games together.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't think I've played that one. I think it's on my want to play still.
Yeah, I have. I mean, it's funny enough. I got a copy because it was cheap, and then I gave that copy to my friend who's really into Star Wars. And then it went on sale again, and I bought another copy. So now it's my copy right now. But overall, I would say that it's great because it's completely Star Wars themed. It has really nice illustrations. It's the kind of game where it's illustrated Star Wars and not just screen caps. And it's all, at least my copy of the game is all like original trilogy Star Wars. Right. The Tug of War mechanic, it is a deck building game. That's the core mechanic of the game. But the Tug of War in it is the force track. Okay. And like you said before, and we talked about, it's kind of zero sum in that if two players, one player plays as the Empire, one player plays as the Rebels, and the force track indicates like if the force is with you, the force track means that it's on your side of the board, like the marker. Right. But if the force is not with you, it's because it's on the other side of the track, or it could just be neutral force. And depending on if the force is with you or not, your cards will do different things. So I think that is a very, like well thematic integration of the force, or of the Tug of War in the force track for the game. Right. I would say that it is like compared to other deck builders that we've played together, it's not super innovative. Like it plays a lot like Star Realms, which I know we did play together.
Okay. Yes.
But I do like one, it's fun IP because we're both Star Wars fans. In fact, you got me into Star Wars when we were kids. And then two, I think that the one thing it does innovate, and I think that the Dice Tower did talk about this, is that I guess like Star Realms, you have like a base, and each side is trying to attack the base. Right. Like your opponent's base. You want to eliminate, like, I think for the base game, you want to eliminate 3 or 4 of your opponent's bases in order to win. Okay. But when you eliminate a person's base, their next one doesn't come out right away, but they get to choose which one comes out, and the bases have asymmetric powers. So one thing just to like to show you what the asymmetric powers is like if you're playing the Empire, you can choose the Death Star as a base for your opponent to attack. But normally you have to use cards to attack your opponent. If you have the Death Star, you just need to spend money, and you can just blow up other cards of like your opponent, like the laser from the Death Star. So not like innovative, but I know we would like playing it, and we should play it next time we see each other.
For sure. Yes, especially if you have a copy, definitely.
I just had so much fun playing it, even though I lost horribly because I got to the point where I had the Death Star and I just started shooting other like capital ships by spending a ton of money.
Okay, because I've seen that game around, and I feel like the name of the game does it a disservice.
It just says what it is.
Especially when there's so many Star Wars games, right? It's just like, this is not standing out to me, but...
Or maybe that's their strategy. It's like because there's so many other Star Wars games, this one it just has to say the IP.
I mean,
and then the mechanic.
I feel like there's a few of them out like that now, where it's like IP name, the deck building game. Isn't there a Lord of the Rings, the deck builder game too?
It's like called the Lord of the Rings, the trick taking game,
or something like that. Yeah. It's the same idea. Yeah. IP name, mechanics.
Right. Well, I mean, like, didn't they used to do that with original IP games? It's like. So and so, like right now, I think they have Halloween, the board game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess the board game is the same idea, right?
Or like the
of saying
original
board game.
Dune, right? The one from the 70s. It was just Dune, the board game, right?
I think it's just Dune.
Or just
I don't know
Dune.
if the board game was in there.
Well, I mean, back then there was only like 12 board games a year
Yes, yeah.
released, so it's just like, oh, it's Dune. It's got me. It's the board game.
And then there's the ones that really do it a disservice, which I think this is kind of a tangent here, but Star Wars Risk. Nothing like Risk at all.
Together?
Yeah, just like, well, Risk is popular with board gamers, and Star Wars is popular, so we'll just call it Risk Star Wars, and it has nothing to do with Risk.
I told the Banditos I wanted to create a Banditos board game called Banditos Gaming the Board Game, the card game, because it's a card game about Banditos gaming the board game.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't designed it yet, but hopefully in the future it'll happen.
Oh, I think I saw one of your plugs for Banditos Gaming on Facebook for Banditos merch.
Oh yeah, we have t-shirts.
You have merch. Is this new? Because I don't think I've seen it before. Yeah. You should plug your merch, your site for merch. Maybe people want to buy a Banditos Gaming t-shirt.
I think they would, but like when this airs, the sales are going to be closed off by then. So
oh yeah, that's right.
Maybe in the future. Well, this is the first run. We're doing a first run. If it's successful, we might have more merch available. But banditosgaming.com.
There you go.
That is the plug.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that was our favorite Tug of War games. So we will move on to most noteworthy / biggest game in our opinion. The one this is another one where I put 2 in anticipation that one of us would have talked about one of them already. I think you might be able to guess which one I'm talking about. You want to take a guess?
I'm going to take a guess based on the past episodes in that you have to bring up Dune Imperium somewhere. Every episode.
I don't think Dune Imperium has Tug of War in it. Twilight Struggle as the biggest, because I know it held #1 on BGG for a long time, and it was like the definitive Tug of War game for a long time. And I was going back and forth, but I ended up putting it there because I did look back in our stats, and we played Hanamikoji before we played Twilight Struggle.
Oh, we did? Wow.
Yes. It was like around the same time. So I think we played Hanamikoji at PAX, and then we were getting more into board games, and we found the app for Twilight Struggle and we started playing it or whatever. So yeah, that was, I still think I would consider that the most noteworthy. And the second one I put in here, I figured we talked about that already. I don't really have anything else to add to that. Second one I put in here, not because I think it is the biggest, but it's almost an iterative design of it, although I would say it's a simpler version, is Watergate. So that's a newer game. That was 2019. Twilight Struggle was like 2005, so that's definitely an older game. So Watergate, again, it's a political theme. So based on like the whole Nixon scandal, and the two sides in that, you're either Nixon or the press, which I thought was funny. And you have a single track where there's a bunch of evidence that start in the middle of the track, and then a momentum marker and an initiative marker, right? There's another bunch of multi-use cards, and you're playing them, you're taking turns playing them, moving the markers to your side of the track. And then when the round ends, whatever's on your side, if it's evidence, the board looks like a kind of a spider web of points from Nixon in the center out to a bunch of witnesses around the outside. So when the press wins a piece of evidence, there's 3 different colors. They can place it on corresponding colors, and you're trying to form a continuous link of evidence from Nixon to 2 different witnesses, I believe. And then if you're Nixon, when the evidence lands on yours, you get to flip it upside down and block spaces off in the web. So one win condition is for the press to get those 2 witnesses. Another condition is when you get the momentum token on your side, you add it to another tracker, and I think the press gets powers after it gets a certain number of them. But essentially, if Nixon can get 5 momentum tokens, Nixon wins the game. And then initiative is just who starts the round, and they get an extra card because they go first and they go last. And that one, I thought, I guess it's not really like Twilight Struggle other than the Tug of War, but it was kind of like that political thriller feel thematically that made me compare it to Twilight Struggle.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of overlap, I think, between Watergate and Twilight Struggle. Twilight Struggle, I think, will still be much heavier. But when I was playing Watergate, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a streamlined version of Twilight Struggle. I get a lot of the same feeling.
Right. Yeah, it felt like kind of a simpler, easier, a little easier to hit the table and or like pick up for a new player and that kind of thing, but gives you kind of that same feel. Okay, so that was my most noteworthy. You want to finish off with yours?
Sure. So this one I had to cheat a little bit.
Okay.
Because I listed Twilight Struggle first.
Right.
I want to do that again. So my cheat here is that I didn't list a single like one individual game as the most noteworthy or biggest. But I would have to say, but my biggest like noteworthy or biggest game that had Tug of War are the games that have the quote unquote dual variant. Like when they take a game and then they make it for exclusively 2 players.
Okay.
And I think that Tug of War is really good because it lends itself to that format. It's very zero sum and it's been incorporated in a lot of duel games. So the one that we mentioned before is King of Tokyo Duel. There's also Seven Wonders Duel that has the Tug of War mechanic. You talked about Blitzkrieg, World War II in 20 minutes, which is a series of Tug of Wars. We played Jekyll versus Hyde online, and that's trick taking with a Tug of War in the middle. I was about to say like I should explain how the game works, but I just explained how the game works, which is it's a trick taking game. You play a trick taking game with a Tug of War in the middle. You talked about Zenith, which is again a series of several Tug of Wars across the board.
Yeah.
But one game we haven't talked about yet and it's on Board Game Arena. Have you played Rift Force?
No, I remember when they got it. I remember seeing the banner, but I don't think I've played it.
It is another 2-player game, and this one I would say is like a lane battler. You're trying to control different lanes. Yeah. But and I don't know if we'll talk about this later. I don't know if a lane battler counts as Tug of War.
So going back to when we were defining it, I think there's a lot of crossover. I think a lane battler can also be Tug of War as long as those lanes are battled with zero sum. Like, so Zenith is a lane battler that is also Tug of War. I was also the one of the games I was thinking about that I think we both liked as well, Air, Land, and Sea.
Oh, yeah.
Simple card game. Another one where you have those 3 lanes, Air, Land, and Sea. They're each a Tug of War, those lanes, or for those theaters, I guess. So yeah, I think it can be, but I don't think it necessarily has to be.
Right. How would you count the neutral space? Because I think that most of the Tug of War games we've talked about so far, there is a neutral like starting space in the middle. Right. And that's, like if something did go, well, I don't know. Now that I think about it, it's like at the very beginning it's a neutral space, but in the future it is still zero sum because you're moving the token away or
you're still pulling away from the other player, right?
Right.
And you did mention Seven Wonders Duel, which that's another game I enjoy a lot. So that one, the Tug of War is specifically the conflict pawn on the military track. So when you gain military strength, you pull the pawn towards, you push the pawn towards the opponent because it's representing the army, I think. And if it reaches the end, you instantly win, right? So they have an end of the track mechanic there, or event. So that's the Tug of War. I thought it was interesting because the iteration to that game, Lord of the Rings, Duel for Middle-earth, is not a Tug of War game because they replaced the military track with what they call it the Quest for the Ring. And that is, instead, it's 2 one-way races. So, and it's a really neat little, I don't know if you've seen it. Have you played?
You talked about this because you have Seven Wonders Duel. Yes, and you thought that this would replace it?
Oh, no, I have Seven Wonders. I was thinking about getting Seven Wonders Duel. And then I was like, I don't need 2 Seven Wonders games. And then when Lord of the Rings Duel came out, I'm like, sweet, I can get it. And it's a different theme.
Oh, yes. You did talk about this. I remember. Yeah. I'm thinking about Lord of the Rings, The Fate of the Fellowship, which is a bigger board game. That's
uses the pandemic system.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one has 2 races. They set it up interesting. So it kind of hides the fact that it's 2 races. And that's one where I actually think it gives you a little, so Tug of War is good at creating tension in the game, I think. But specifically in Lord of the Rings Duel, I actually think it improves that because of the fact they're one-way races, so that as the game progresses, when a player moves along their Quest for the Ring track, they're always getting closer to ending the game instantly. Whereas when playing Seven Wonders Duel, if either both players ignore the military track or you're kind of even and it's in the middle near the third age, it's kind of a non-threat then because the chance of them pulling it all the way isn't really likely.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I find in Lord of the Rings Duel, you're going to be near that, the players are going to be near that end of the track. One of them is going to be near the end in the last age. So it's always this threat that the game could just end because they're going to get the ring or catch Frodo. Mm-hmm. And I think it actually improves the tension in that game, but it's no longer Tug of War.
I gotta play this now. We haven't played it yet.
We should. I have it, so the next time we can put that on the list as well. I'll let you keep track of all the games we need to play.
Will do. It's already on the list.
But yeah, I'm glad I did pick up that one because I actually think all in all it kind of replaces Seven Wonders Duel. Because Seven Wonders Duel also had like a bunch of expansions, and then when I buy a game, I have to buy all of it. So
you're the completionist.
Yes. Yeah. Whereas this is like, I think there has been an expansion for Lord of the Rings Duel, but they're small, like micro expansions. So at least so far. But I guess if it's popular, I'm sure there'll be more expansions.
Right.
All right. So yeah, I think that wraps up our major examples.
Yep.
Unless you had anything you wanted to add.
No. We're going to Beyond the Basics now.
Yes.
All right.
So we'll do our roll for initiative again.
Yeah. Brian and I are rolling to determine who's going to start off this next section on Beyond the Basics, and I have rolled a 12.
I got a 7.
All right. So I'm going to lead off on this one.
Okay.
So we are going to discuss 3 likes and 3 dislikes we have about the mechanic for this episode, which is Tug of War. And remind me, Brian, I'm going to do my first like. You'll do your first like?
Yeah, I think we'll just trade off one.
Okay. So my first like, and I don't think this is going to come as any surprise to you, Brian, or any of the listeners, is that I really like Tug of War because I feel like provides immediate clarity for the game state. Right. Like who's winning by how much, there's nothing hidden. Like once you look at the token on the track, like I'm winning by this amount, I'm losing by this amount, or anything else. So I just like how it's immediately clear when you look at it.
Yeah, I have that as well. I said it's very easy to understand and clear goal. Everyone kind of understands what a tug of war is, and essentially it boils down to you pull more and you win.
Pull harder.
Yes. So yeah, I had that one. So I'll give another one.
Okay.
So I actually mentioned this already. The mechanic is very good at creating tension in the game. When you're close to the end, you just have that feeling of like imminent doom, right? So it gives you that panic if you're on the losing side, or just that, I just need to get that last point just to finish them off kind of feeling.
Yep.
And when it is clearly visible, like I'm going to use Zenith again, because you have your 5 tracks and it's clearly visible where the token is on all 5 of the tracks, it creates a psychological pressure seeing it as well. So that's something I really like about Tug of War.
Nice. Should I lead with my second like now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I did 2 because I shared one with you. So
right. All right. So my second like is, I think unlike a lot of other mechanics we've covered for AP Table Talk in the past, I think that Tug of War is actually really strong thematically. Like we've talked about it a lot with a lot of the different games. It's centered on conflict, politics like Watergate, war like Star Wars, Blitzkrieg, Twilight Struggle, rivalry, control, influence. I think that like if any of those things are your theme for your game, like Tug of War just makes like a really strong mechanic that will fit directly into that theme.
Right. Okay. So my last one actually here is for me, it's that Tug of War has a built-in take that mechanic. Because by my definition, it's zero sum, which means that me doing good means the other person is doing bad. And since I like take that mechanic so much, that is a positive for me.
So it is naturally take that if it has a Tug of War.
Naturally antagonistic, I guess.
Yeah.
Adversarial is probably a better word.
And that actually, your third like, Brian, fits in with my third like, which is I think it's a great fit for 2-player games because like we talked about with duels, like Tug of War, since it's zero sum, creates a really good duel structure.
Yes.
So I feel like, if you have a really strong theme and you want to, and it fits into the zero sum structure and it's a 2-player game, Tug of War kind of sounds like a given,
Yeah. I did my 3. So if you got any more.
Nope, those are my 3 likes.
Okay, perfect. So we'll move on to our dislikes then.
Mm-hmm.
So
Should I lead off with the 3
sure.
dislikes? Okay. So you brought this up, right? Because it is a antagonistic game with zero sum. I think you could get zero sum fatigue because your gain is always going to be someone else's loss, and your loss is going to be someone else's gain. And I think
that's
that
why
can
it's
feel kind of
great.
exhausting. No, that can feel kind of exhausting. Like I think that if you don't like 2-player games and you don't like take that, then this probably is not a good mechanic for you.
Trying to come up with dislikes, I had a much harder time because I think I do like Tug of War a lot. Mm-hmm. So some of these are kind of hypothetical dislikes. Relating to what you just said, I stated a little differently. It can feel like there's a lack of like progress in the game because you can have this complicated plan and you push a marker almost to the end, and then your opponent has one good turn and bring it right back to natural and undoes everything you did. And it can feel like everything you just did doesn't matter. We mostly talk about, when we talk about dislikes, I think it can be mitigated in design. So one of the things I'm using Zenith, which is why I think it's becoming one of my favorite Tug of War games. When you play a card on your side in Zenith to pull a specific color, and then it does whatever its power is, it also gives you a discount for every future card you play on that color. And I thought that was a really interesting mechanic. So even if I played 3 cards, move the orange token almost to my side, and the opponent plays 1 that just moves it right back to the middle, I still have a 3 coin discount to playing orange cards in the future. It's a good way of kind of mitigating that like demoralizing feeling of having your work kind of erased.
Yeah. I like that aspect of Zenith too. Like I like Zenith's overall design. And I think the fact that like it's not a wasted move, right? Because you're getting a future discount.
You're getting something out of it, even though like there's definitely ways to get rid of that, but it's more than just like, oh, they just had a good play and it just erased everything. Like they have to sacrifice a lot more to erase your work in that game.
Right. So that was your first dislike?
That was my first dislike, yeah.
Okay. You want to go on with your second dislike?
Oh, sure. Okay, so my second one, it actually relates. So you were saying one of your likes is that it works really well with 2-player games. So again, thinking creatively from a design point of view, I think it's very difficult to make Tug of War work with more than 2 players. I was actually trying to think of games that had more than 2-player Tug of War, and I'm not talking about like Zenith. They call it a 4-player game because you can play in 2v2. But like having more than 2 teams, I'll call it then, right? Because I think it is inherently leads itself inherently to 2 sides of the Tug of War. So I did find a few games, but I've never played any of them. I think the biggest one on the list was Brian Boru.
Yep, I played Brian Boru.
So you've played that. I have not played it, but apparently there are multiple tracks, and winning a trick in that game pulls influence away from the other people. So I could see that in my mind, I think of, when you're doing character creators in video games and they have like weight, muscle, and something else, and it's like a triangle.
Oh, and you have to...
So and you can kind of move the dot somewhere in that triangle to make your character. I think of that almost as like a 3-way Tug of War, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
In the conceptually. But I think the best alternative mechanic that I could think of to multiple player Tug of War is like an area control game where when you take a territory, you remove that territory from the other people. But it's not quite Tug of War, but I think that's the closest analogy I could think of.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But again, not really a dislike of the mechanic, just like something that is a challenge from a design standpoint of being limited almost to 2 players.
And I'm glad you said that, Brad, because that was actually my second dislike.
Okay.
I said that it has reduced multiplayer scalability. It works really great at 2 players.
Yeah.
But, more than 2 players, you're going to have to adapt to it. Like you said, with area control, Brian Boru, although it's been years since I played Brian Boru, I don't completely remember how those different tracks work. But I remember it was area control paired with trick taking, which was the first game I played with those 2 things mashed together. So I had not seen it before. But I did have one more dislike.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it was my other dislike was repetitive gameplay loop. So I feel like Tug of War games can get very samey if it's not layered with additional mechanics. And we've talked about this with other AP Table Talk episodes before, where aside from some outliers, a lot of mechanics need to kind of be paired with something else in order to be interesting. And I would say that like out of all the games we've discussed for this episode, the one that I felt was most samey, I'm not saying it's bad, was Jekyll versus Hyde.
Okay.
Because it's a tug of war track, it's trick taking, and I think that if you've never played it before, it's trick taking 2 players, but they do have these tokens that indicate they give you something special based on the suit of the card you played. And if it didn't have the token
against the trump cards,
against the trump cards, and if it didn't have that token that allow you to rearrange what is the most powerful suit, I feel like I would get tired of that game very quickly.
Right.
But out of everything, I don't think we played any bad tug of war games, but out of all of them, that is the one that felt the most samey to me after playing multiple games.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because the game that I had as my first tug of war game, Hanamikoji, Violet thinks that one is repetitive. She feels like she's playing the same game. Because I do think that one it's such a quick game that it becomes like you're playing the opponent. It's the meta. So that one, there are 4 ways that you distribute the cards each time. And again, we talked about how it's like I cut you choose. Like one of them is like you pick 3 of your cards, you display them. The other person picks 1, you get the other 2. One of them is you group 4 cards in 2 groups of 2. The other player picks 1, you get 1 group. They get the other group. So it really comes down to what cards get kind of dealt out. And the way, again, from a design standpoint that they tried to mitigate that is in the version I got, they have, I think, like 6 more sets of those tokens so that the way that you distribute the cards can be different, can give you some variety. I don't mind it so much in that game because like the game is so quick that I'm okay with it being simple and whatnot. But I know she commented when we played that game that it felt like she was just doing the same thing each time.
Have you taught it to either of the girls yet?
Not yet. I do think that's one they could play. Right now, we've been playing, I got my older daughter, Maxine, into Mintworks, which is a game we've played quite many games in those early packs. We play that one online. Yeah. And she that was kind of, I'm trying to get her to understand the worker placement mechanic. So she likes that one. She actually beat me in one of our early games.
Oh, nice.
But I have not let it happen again.
Yes. It'll happen again.
Everybody likes Magical Athlete, which is, we've been playing nonstop, and there's been meltdowns about who gets to be Huge Baby. And
Huge Baby.
Like that.
As long as I can still play as Party Animal. My go-to character.
Yes. I kind of like Mouth.
Mouth is the one where you can't
Mouth is the player elimination character.
Oh, Mouth is, wait, if you land on the same space as Mouth? Or if Mouth lands on the same space as you?
If Mouth lands on the same space as a racer by themselves, they're eliminated from the race. It's the least fun character.
Yeah.
But the biggest threat. I don't actually think they're my favorite. They're my favorite, like from a concept standpoint.
Yeah.
I do like Party Animal as well. Flip Flop is very take that.
What is
that's where instead of rolling, I can just trade places with someone.
Oh yeah. That's the one where you're like, you don't want to get too far.
Yeah, exactly, because then Mouth is Flip Flop is coming for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that game, it just works because of the sheer number of characters they put into it. Which I know we talked about it in a previous episode.
We talked about it with asymmetric powers, I think. It's the game I wanted to talk more about, but I didn't get.
I'm sure we'll
the opportunity
get to do so. It in another. Oh, I guess it is like very much a race game. Yeah, it must have been.
It's a race game. Yeah.
But I didn't realize that Richard Garfield was the designer that did the character powers.
Yeah, and I think that he was the catalyst to bringing it back because I think it was published before. Yeah.
Right. And so, to those who don't know, Richard Garfield is the creator of Magic the Gathering.
And King of Tokyo.
Many other deck builders or not deck builders, CCG or TCGs or CCGs or whatever.
Yeah,
many
He's
other
got a
games
lot of designer credits.
I think generally people think of Magic the Gathering when they hear his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't realize that he was a designer in that game. But yeah, it's a good fun game, and I thought I would get tired of it faster, but the races move so quick that it's just kind of a fun. I mean, it's almost an activity more than a game almost.
Well, there's a game we haven't covered it yet, but it's a roll and move, right?
Okay.
But with asymmetric powers. That's also a race game.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All those base mechanics just combined together for fun.
All right. So that was a bit of a I think I actually done my dislikes. So
okay, should we go into bonus round now?
Yeah, really the only thing when I was thinking about defining Tug of War, I was just kind of thinking about how it's very close to other mechanics. Again, it's very close to race mechanic. It's very close to like lane battlers. One that I almost had on the list and then I realized it was not a Tug of War, even though it's very similar to Hanamikoji or Air, Land, and Sea, was Schottentotten. Or Battle Line, I guess.
Battle
I don't know
Line.
which one came first, Battle Line or Schottentotten. I like Schottentotten.
I think Battle Line came first.
But that one, again, it feels like it's a tug of war, but it's actually more of a race. Because there's no zero sum in that one. You're just taking points.
And there's the deductive aspect to try to determine what cards are out.
Right. So which I think it shares with Air, Land, and Sea. But I do think that's almost a whole, like, you're talking about, like, that's almost a whole sub-genre of lane battlers. These, like, where you have the cards for each one, because a newer one that, again, is not Tug of War that I really enjoyed and I had to go search out was Compile.
Oh, yeah. We played that at PAX Unplugged.
That one's fantastic game, but definitely more complex. And I think the only real downside to that one is if one player knows the decks and against a new player, they're going to have a significant advantage.
Right.
But there's so many decks in that one that you can combine that it'll keep it interesting to just casual play. Do you have anything else
for bonus round?
Bonus round you wanted to talk about? I know you mentioned there were some other games you wanted to talk about.
No, I think we got most of them in. I'll look at my list one more time, but I had a few points for bonus round. One, I think that Tug of War is probably one of the cleanest mechanics we've talked about because it's just so very much basic. Zero sum on a track. My gain is your loss is my gain, etc. I think though that like Tug of War on its own, I don't really see being like the entree for a game. Like if I have to use a cooking analogy, I would say that Tug of War is a really good like broth. But you got to add some stuff to the broth to make it, iterate on that game, make it something cool and something unique. Right. So I think it like if you're creating a 2-player game and you don't really know what mechanic to use, I'd say start with Tug of War because it is like just a very good base that is very easy to read in, very easy to look at, and then you can kind of grow from there.
Yeah, I think that's why it kind of falls in line with something like race mechanic, right? Like again, a very simple core, everybody understands what that mechanic is, but a pure just race, which I think would be like a roll and move or something like that with nothing else would be boring. But a game like Magical Athlete where they throw in a bunch of crazy characters and suddenly it's super fun. Right.
Additional games on my list that I had for Tug of War that we didn't talk about is the game Taco Cat spelled backwards.
Yes.
It's by what's the name of the company? They also did is it Exploding Kittens?
They did. Exploding Kittens was
it's Exploding Kittens.
I know it's the
same
old. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I wasn't thinking of Taco Cat spelled backwards. I was thinking of that other one, Taco Cat. I don't know. It's like 5 words.
Oh, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza?
Yes. I was thinking of that. But yeah, that Taco Cat spelled backwards. That's another, Elon Lee, the oatmeal guy.
This is basically like
just
like card play with Tug of War, but like all the other tricks for the card play doesn't matter until like the last trick because that's when the token actually moves. I remember getting like a copy of it at Marshall's because it was like $2 or something. Very simple game, but also this is probably another one of those examples where I feel like it is just mostly the Tug of War track, and because of that, I don't think it gets a lot of staying power, at least compared to other games. Right. We also played Tacta online, which I didn't really see the Tug of War aspect to, but you did, Bri?
Tacta. So it's the same idea where it's kind of these lanes. I think it was because it was kind of mixed with the not engine building, tableau
Area
building,
control?
I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of mixed with the tableau building. So it's kind of a borderline one. But so that part of it, which you think is going to be the Tug of War, was not the Tug of War. The Tug of War was when you get those tokens for getting what is it, 5, 7, 3, 5, or 7 of the thing in the lane. That was the Tug of War.
Wait, Tacta?
Am I thinking of the right game?
No, I think you're thinking about maybe either Pacifica or Arctic.
Oh,
Tacta
no,
was
Arctic.
the one where
Arctic
you're playing.
I didn't understand.
Yeah, that was a tough
one.
Hold
on, let me look at Tacta.
Tacta.
Sorry, Tacta. Yeah, right. Tacta's the Tug of War comes when you are, so that's where you're getting points for all the dots on your cards that are showing, and the Tug of War comes that you can cover the dots of the other player. Sorry, I was thinking of, that must have been Pacifica.
Yeah, maybe? Pacifica and Arctic didn't really.
Arctic again, I didn't understand. Arctic. I think I was burnt out on Tug of War learning Tug of War games at that point. Pacifica, I think I would like it in person.
Yeah.
But again, that we played that one near the end, so I was like, I was getting a little burnt out on learning Tug of War games that all were looking like lane builders.
Right. Now that I think about it though, with Tacta, because Tacta is a more than 2-player game that says it has Tug of War in it. I would think though then that like the last player has advantage because they have many more places to play cards, right? Like if you're playing first, then you're most likely to get your card covered if other players have cards that they can play, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm sure there's some strategy to knowing if you're first lesson what you leave open, things like that. But yeah, there probably is a last player advantage in that. Maybe, I don't know if they mitigate it somehow. I didn't really pay that much attention. I mean, it's a pretty simple game though, so I wouldn't expect it to go too deep into that.
It's not perfectly balanced.
Yes. It is one it's one of those ones where I like it on BGA, but I wonder if I would be frustrated playing it in real life because knowing exactly how the cards need to line up.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes on BGA where they just have just the tiniest little bit of red where it's overlapping. I'm like, in person, you'd probably just let that go. Like, yeah. And maybe that's part of the game.
I do like though how Tacta is you're limited to your actual table. Like your table is the boundary.
Right. Yeah. That's a neat incorporation of like, just like, yeah, well, that's the rule.
Yeah. That's all I've got for bonus round, Bri.
The only other one I can think of, I know we differed in opinion, was the coin game, A Guest of Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, that one I was completely lost on.
I don't know if you didn't like it or you just didn't fully understand. Because I actually think I liked it a lot, and it got me interested into looking, because I think it's considered an easier coin game. So I was like, oh, maybe I should look into coin games, but that one's probably already like about where I would like it for weight. So I played a few more games of that just against randos.
Yeah.
And I got just demolished every single time.
I'm guessing these players have high ELOs, like they play.
Yeah, as soon as I get into where I can play arena, I play arena.
Yeah.
And then I just prefer it. I feel like people play their turns faster when they're playing arena. So, but I did like it. And I think it would be a game I'd like against an evenly matched. I mean, I don't mind losing, but I just felt like there was maybe so deep of a strategy in that game that, especially, I think that playing Robin Hood is more complex. I definitely haven't played enough to say whether it's unbalanced, but I do think the Robin Hood side is harder to learn. So if I was playing the Robin Hood side against a higher rank, like I didn't even stand a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my only games that I won against randos were if I was the sheriff. Yeah. But I enjoyed it. But I think I played my fill on BGA, so maybe I don't like coin games as much. But I did find it interesting. I liked I thought the choices were interesting. The way they did the event deck as a action that changes every round that you can take.
I like the choice architecture for that game because like my choices seem very straightforward to me. I just didn't really know the ramifications of choosing all of them, because then I'm like, it gives up initiative. Like then I'll go next.
There's a lot of gears in that game for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot actually. All right, I'm just gonna take. I don't think I have anything else in my notes.
No, I am good.
Okay, well, I guess that wraps up our Tug of War episode of AP Table Talk. If you'd like to hear more content like this, please be sure to subscribe. You can also check out more of our content, projects, and other information about us at universityxp.com.
Thanks for joining us. We'd also love it if you took some time to rate the show. We live to lift others with learning, so if you found this episode useful, consider sharing it with someone who could benefit. Until next time, game on.